Welcome back to Chalk and Cheese, the problem-solving podcast with two women from very different generations. I am your cheesy host, Anna Duke.
And I am your chalky host, Linda Rands.
I'm feeling like a crumbly feta today, Linda. And we are about to dive into some problems on milestones this week.
Okay, milestones.
On the topic,
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up a very interesting article I read during the week. You know I love pop culture.
Yeah?
Do you know who Charlie XCX is?
No.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me. She is a pop star. Really cool. She's actually just so cool. I love her so much. But she recently got married, okay?
Right.
She's 32 and she married another famous person.
Right.
She was asked recently in an interview whether she wanted to have kids, and she replied saying, "When I think about having kids, the only part that really excites me is naming them and kind of having them there as a baby, nearly like a prop. But if that's the only thing that really excites me or that I think about having kids, then maybe I'm not ready to be a mother, or maybe I'll never be able to be a mother, never be ready to be a mother." And I think that really resonated with me because, I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
Actually, in my 30s is a stretch, guys. I'm literally pretty much 29. I just turned 36 short months ago. So
No, that still means you're 30, darling.
all right, bitch. Someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. What age are you?
72.
Yeah, you dusty gelding. 72. I've been telling everyone you're 75.
72.
You don't look a day over 80. Well, listen. There's a lot of pressure on women to start thinking about having kids as soon as you hit 30. My friends have started having kids. It's obviously something in my life. I have a younger boyfriend, so it is like a difficult topic because he's a little bit younger than me. So
Does he want kids?
He does want kids, but I think we're both in agreement that neither of us want kids right now. And I think I'm leaning more and more towards the thought every day that maybe I never want kids, because my background is working with kids. I've worked with kids for the last 12 years. I've done a lot of au pair jobs. I've been the queen of the babysitters, and I've taught kids to swim for 12 years. So I think when a lot of my friends talk about having kids, I struggle to believe that a lot of people understand the reality of having a kid 24 hours a day, of having a kid when there's stress in the house, which I've seen, of having a kid. I was an au pair during COVID. It was incredibly difficult.
Oh, God.
So when I think of that, I think because I have a very real view of what I think being a parent is.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I think I'm too selfish with my life, and I love having my own time too much to ever want to be a mom, but I don't want to decide in my 40s that I've made a massive mistake. You're obviously 100 years older than me and have been through so much, so I'd love a little bit of advice from me on this topic.
Well, I don't think that this is the time for you to decide whether you have a child or not, because I think you'll know if you want one or not.
Did you know?
No, mine was just, I wouldn't say by mistake, but it wasn't planned, put it like that, because I was actually using contraception.
Too much information.
And it didn't work. And I'm very glad I've got him now.
Yeah.
But
Did you struggle with
wasn't
motherhood?
planned. Yes, very much so.
In what ways?
Well, I just don't think I was a good mother. I think in my mind, I was very, and Paul, my son, he says that as well. I was very career minded.
Okay.
So, it was difficult for him, but it was difficult for me as well. And I became a single mother.
Okay.
Very early on.
And you
with
work
him.
nights.
And I work in the theatre, which is very unsociable hours. So I had to have babysitters a lot. It was a lot of organisation. But I don't regret it. I mean, I love him dearly, and he's a great asset in my life, to be honest. But in your case, I think these days you can have babies up to in your 40s.
The thing is, you can, but it's at much more of a risk.
No, but they've got much more, they keep much more an eye on you. They've got all these things like IVF and stuff like that.
No, it's true. They have a lot of things. I think it's more so that if I left it to having 40s, even though it's still possible, it's still more difficult. And you can figure out at 40 that there's complications and you can't have a kid. And I'm wondering, do you think if you had not had a kid, I guess it's a hard thing to look back on because you did have a kid, but do you think you would have lived with massive regret, or do you see that with your friends?
No, I mean, I think I probably, knowing myself as I do, I think I probably would never have made a decision to have a child. I don't think it would have come to that. And I have lots of friends who don't have kids and they have no regret about it at all. So I can't say that I would have got to a certain age and regretted that I didn't have a child. I don't know. I think it just comes to you.
Okay.
If you're ready, and if not, it's also okay. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean to say that you have to be a mother. You don't.
Yeah, you can just be a gay icon, mother, which is honestly what I was aiming for. But the gays don't really like me. They love you. No, what I could do, and I also do want to add, even if you don't have kids, what you can do is find a 30-year-old foreign person living in the country and just adopt them as your kid, like Linda's done for me. Get into kidnapping.
You're my second child.
And I love it. Let's move on to some of the listeners' problems. Me and my boyfriend have been together since uni. I've since worked really hard in my career, but my boyfriend is still in his dead-end job that he hates. I'm making a lot more money than him now and feel that I'm leaving him behind. Do I give him a kick up the arse? Or are we just on completely different paths? What should I do? First of all, well done on doing so well in your career, girl. Snaps to you. Look, as someone who is currently in a dead-end job that I potentially hate, hope my boss doesn't listen to this.
Your time will come, darling. I have faith in you.
I do want to say that I would hate to think that my boyfriend would break up with me because I'm making a lot less money than him. I would just feel I think that's a really weird way to move. But then again, I can understand it. Like, if you're working really hard, you want to live a different lifestyle. I guess it's how selfish is it to break up with someone because they're not as successful at you in your career?
Well, I don't know. I suppose, how much does it affect you? I mean, if it gives you, in your words, the ick, because they're not actually earning enough money and that starts to bother you, then that could be a reason to actually go out of the relationship. Because, because then you start to find more things. I think you look for then problems, if you know what I mean.
Have you ever been the bigger earner in a relationship?
No.
Okay.
Because I've actually been in relationships with other theatre people.
Right, so everyone's making the same. Have you ever been financially looked after by anybody?
No, and I don't ever want to be.
I'm the opposite. If anyone wants to donate, please, I'll link my Venmo. My Monzo linked below. Now, I've been in both. So I think I've got a good perspective on this. When I first started my relationship, when I was teaching swimming, I was earning a higher wage than my boyfriend.
Right.
And it was fine at the start, but it did eventually create like a little bit of turbulence in our relationship just because I felt like I was paying for more things, which I wanted to do because I wanted to go out and eat or to go to the cinema or to go. Yeah. Whereas if he couldn't afford them, I would say I'll just pay. But I think after a while that kind of did start to get on my nerves. But then when I said it to him, he was like, well, I'm not asking to go to these places and I can't afford it. So I actually did give him a kick up the arse. And he did end up getting a better job, but also because I thought he'd be happier. And I'm like, maybe this girl, if you studied the same thing and you feel like he hates his job and you're in a good headspace because you're in a good career, maybe do give your boyfriend a kick up the arse.
Well, yeah, I mean, literally put like that. But maybe this guy is happy in the job he's in. Who knows?
However, she has written he hates it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. If he hates it, yes, then come on, guy. I mean, then find yourself another job. Although I've heard it's not very easy to find new jobs. So
heard that from me, if anyone's hiring.
Yeah, exactly.
We're thinking, honestly, do give him a kick up the arse. But I wouldn't break up with someone for earning less than me personally.
No.
You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't break up with somebody if they were earning less than me. No.
Okay, but it would be nice to have someone who's earning the same amount so you could go on holidays.
I think it's nice to be equal because then there's no sort of like, against each other, if you know what I mean. That
My
you're on
sister
an
actually has a friend who said that she'd never date a guy who doesn't make the same wage as her because she
Really?
wants someone who can live the same lifestyle. She's worked really hard to get there. I mean, there is an argument for privilege in there that you are then, some people can't get as good a job because they couldn't afford to go to uni.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there's an argument. There's an argument for both cases. If you worked really hard, I can understand why maybe you want to go to the Maldives for a month and you're going to go on your own.
But I mean, when I was young, I mean, I would have 3 jobs at a time.
Same.
So yeah, like you. I mean, I if I wanted more money, I would do more work.
And wage is often not a reflection of how hard you work.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So I actually would think if you're doing better in your career and you want to go do things, get used to doing them by yourself, or else give your boyfriend a kick up the arse. Stop being a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Linda, this listener has written in just for you.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear what they have to say. Hi, Linda. This one's for you. I'm due to retire this year. I never married or had kids. I do have a great community around me, but it's my job that keeps me going. I'm worried that the lack of routine will slow me down. Any tips to keep me busy and help me feeling young?
Well, I would say in these days, in this day and age, you don't have to retire at a certain age.
Linda's saying keep working.
You can stay working if that is what you wish to do. Or maybe you could go part-time even. Or I would find some hobbies or do some voluntary work maybe.
You live by yourself.
I do live by
Do you
myself.
do hobbies or voluntary work?
I don't do voluntary work.
I was about to say, I can't picture Linda giving back
but
to the community.
I do go to the gym.
Okay.
I go to the theatre.
Do you? How often do you go to the theatre?
Not that often, but
What do you do during the day to keep your routine?
well, I go to the gym. I cook a lot.
Okay.
What else do I do? Well, in my case, sometimes I babysit.
Right. Okay. I guess that's the
because I
difference
have
between
2
someone. Yeah.
grandchildren. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know how the hell I actually managed to work and do all the things that I do now.
Do you think people should keep working or retire?
I think it's entirely up to them. I mean,
Right.
if this person particularly is saying my job keeps me going and you don't have to retire,
My
or
dad's
you
like
don't
that.
want to retire.
My dad would never want to retire.
Well, there you go.
I hate that though. I think we've been fooled into
I
thinking
couldn't
that.
wait to retire.
Oh my God. I think you're going to waste some of the best years of your life. Apparently retirement's where it's at. How are you finding retirement so far?
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah?
I love being my own person and making up my own day. I absolutely love it.
I'm jealous. I can't wait to retire myself.
Yeah.
Retirement is wasted on the old. Okay. Okay, so one thing I do want to say, and I kind of got this from talking to my mom, I think when you get to the age of retirement, you are so in your routine that you think you enjoy it, but actually you're kind of trapped. My mom, for example, she's always wanted to go traveling. She is now pretty much retirement age, but she won't go traveling because she's convinced herself it's something that she doesn't do. I think the best way, as a young person looking at young is a stretch, person looking at retirement, I think you should actually try and do something totally different and shake up your life. I think you're too in the routine and this is actually what you've worked your whole life to get to, but now you've forgotten that you actually had all these dreams that now you've got the time and the money to go pursue.
Exactly.
I think this person should go traveling.
But that does depend on how much money you've got.
It's very cheap.
If
you
the
stay
way
in-
you do it, yeah.
This is a message to my future self when I reach retirement era. Do not stay at home and just watch the TV.
Oh my God, no.
And, just let your last few years slide by. Get new hobbies. Travel the world. Do the things that you dreamed about doing when you were 20.
Okay, Anna. That's your advice.
Play that back to me in 60 years.
Yes, exactly.
60, lady.
Yes, 60.
Okay, moving on to our next listener's problem. I'm 25 and I'm in my first queer relationship with my partner. We've been together for nearly a year now. They want to take our relationship to the next step sexually. I feel that they are getting frustrated at me, but I find intimacy very scary. What do I do?
They've been together a year?
Dear listeners, Linda's a huge slut. Oh no.
I mean, a year?
Would you ever have sex with someone on a first date?
Maybe.
I think if it feels right, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A year seems like an awfully long time to me.
Tell me. I mean, I think if I was the other part, I go, I think we should say goodbye. I'm not going to get sex somewhere else.
What I'm wondering is, I wonder did they have this fear before it was a queer relationship? I'm wondering if maybe they have this whole thing about having sex because they have not had queer sex before. Like, I can totally see that's the thing because, I mean, losing your virginity in a straight relationship, you nearly know what to do because you see it so much in pop culture. Like, even in movies in the cinema, you know, you have way more of an idea of like what straight sex is like. Whereas queer sex is not represented in the media. Like, it's massively underrepresented.
Yes, I wouldn't say it's not represented because it is.
Currently,
but
there is some really good
yes,
shows, yeah.
yes.
But I definitely think it's underrepresented. That if I was to have queer sex, I would struggle to know exactly what to do myself. There's so much more nuance to it. But maybe that's why it is scary. I'm wondering if this listener has any queer friends that they could chat to about what is it? Because I'm wondering where the fear stems from.
But do we know it's a fear? Is it a fear? Is that
Yeah.
what they're saying? It's
They
a
said,
fear.
I find intimacy scary.
Oh, scary.
So I would be interested to hear whether they find intimacy scary in general in all relationships, or whether this is because this is a brand new thing for them. And maybe they're a bit embarrassed, especially if they're older and they feel behind, and maybe they feel like their partner would know more things than they do. And it's an insecurity thing.
Or is it something in themselves in any relationship?
Like a fear of letting people
in,
in,
a way.
yeah.
Because, you know, sex, of course, brings you much, much closer. So is it something that's a fear of, you know, getting that close to somebody?
I also think I met a person before who was they struggle with OCD, and a massive thing for them is they're constantly scared of getting sick, and they struggled to kind of have sex with new partners because they had a massive fear of STIs.
Oh, I know somebody else like that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is also legit.
Yeah.
So I think the main thing that this listener should do is pinpoint exactly what they're scared of in intimacy. Is it that you feel undereducated and you feel like your partner's ahead of you and you don't know what to do?
Yeah.
Is it that you're scared of STIs? Is it that you're scared of letting someone in emotionally?
Yeah.
Or is it that you feel like you're a little bit old to kind of be at where you see yourself at standard-wise having sex?
Yeah.
It's very hard to us to jump in and fully solve the problem, but the advice that I would give is figure out what it is that exactly is scaring you and discuss that with your partner.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Have you ever been nervous to have sex with someone?
Nervous?
Yeah.
No. Well, maybe my first time.
I also do think it's easier for us though because we're both in hetero relationships.
True.
You know? No, I mean, sometimes...
Or is it? I mean, you know, if you're that way inclined, not in a queer relationship, as you call it, then why would that be? If you're into that, why is that more scary than being in a heterosexual relationship?
I would think because there's less obvious info out there on what to do. Do you think if you went to have sex with a woman, you would feel confident knowing what to do?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, because I know what I like.
That's a really good point.
So, you know, it's just doing what you like to somebody else.
So I'm actually wondering, Linda, if we could bounce on that for a bit more advice, I wonder, is this listener even intimate with themselves? Mm-hmm. Because...
Or knows what knows.
Do they know what they
likes.
like? Or they like?
Yes.
Because I think that is a massive thing out there, especially, I don't know what the gender of this listener is, but I think especially with women, a lot of times, I've met so many girls in my life who don't even know what they like.
You mean they haven't had an orgasm or something like that?
They haven't had an orgasm.
Really?
You know, so maybe I'd say get comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
Figure out what you like, because that's going to be, again, what you're doing.
Yeah.
Then I would say, figure out what it is you're nervous about and chat to your partner.
Yeah.
I don't think anything bad ever comes from a bit of communication.
No, I think communication is the best thing.
Communication is the best thing.
Yeah.
And go forth and ride your partner. If that's what you want to do. Or don't. Moving on to the next problem. Me and my boyfriend have been going out for 10 years. I've been bringing up marriage to him, but he keeps brushing it off. We're about 32 now, and getting married is really important to me. Is it fair for me to give him an ultimatum?
Well, I would say, obviously it's very important to her. And we were just talking about communication. So I think communication could be the key here. But these days, I'm just talking generally, these days, I don't think it's so important to be married. Obviously, this person does want to be married. And the guy must be on the side of, well, it's not that important. We're together anyway. What does a piece of paper mean?
Yeah, but what if it's something that she really wants?
Well, obviously, this is what she wants. And that's why I'm saying communication. You have to talk this out with your partner and say, look, this is so important to me.
I think that marriage, I am not someone who totally envisions myself getting married. However, I do understand why people think it's important. I think especially as women, because when you're a woman, there's also a good chance that these people will go on to have a kid. And if we're thinking this is a woman writing in, well then marriage could be important, because she might then have to take time off work, and then she's financially dependent on this man. And this man has the opportunity to up and leave at any point. And
You can do that if you're married.
I think it's a little bit different if you're married. It's so much more complicated. You've got more rights to their assets.
No, not these days. If you're living with somebody that long, you have the same sort of rights now.
I don't know if that's true, Linda.
I think I've just heard them talking about
Really?
it. Yeah, on television.
So if you live with someone long term, it's the same as...
Yes.
Okay. So, but what if...
And if you split up, you can divide the assets and stuff
So
like that.
if you went to court
Same
with
as
someone?
marriage, yeah.
So I guess then... I actually did not know that. Is that true?
I think it is.
Fact checking now.
I think it is. I think there's a new thing that's come
But
out.
I just feel
about
like that's
this
got a
whole
lot of
thing.
nuance to it, because then it's like, how long do you have to be living with this person? Do you have to be living in the same house? Because I just think it's fair enough to, if you're going to plan on having kids with someone, if marriage is very important to you, I think an ultimatum is fair enough.
Yeah, so in the UK, living with someone long term without being married or a civil partnership does not grant you automatic legal rights to property, finances, or inheritance, regardless of the length of relationship or if you have children. There is no common law. So if you're not married, then you have absolutely no rights. Even if you live with them long term and you have children, you still have no rights.
I was thinking this.
Is that the new?
UK.
Is that really new?
That's just the current.
What date is that?
It's just.
I was thinking the other one wouldn't make sense, because then it was just like so much nuance. It's how can you argue?
Yeah, without a legal agreement or joint ownership, the financially weaker partner is at a significant disadvantage on separation or death of a partner.
And I will also say that as women, I can totally understand why we need to look after ourselves, because there is a more likelihood you're going to have, if you're having kids, you are going to have to take time off work. You are going to have to go on maternity leave. You are then, if you break up, going to have to mind the kid, which is a whole other expense. So I can understand from a legal perspective why you want the security of marriage. Even still, like, you want the party, but like, you want the security of knowing, if I'm going to have a kid with this person, after my body changes and after I change as a person, which motherhood does do to women, and if they choose to leave, I'm still financially sound.
Yeah, I get that. But I mean, she's been with this person for 10 years. You think he's going to up and leave after 10 years?
Girl, people up and leave marriages after 30 years.
That's what I do.
You told me before that you had never wanted to get married.
No.
How did you end up married?
Well, because my then husband, or to-be husband, decided that he did want to get married because I was pregnant.
Okay.
Um,
Did you feel like he
was
gave
not
you an
that-
ultimatum?
No, no. Well, no, not really. But I just went along with it. I mean, I didn't need to be married. Let's put it like
Right.
this. I didn't need it.
Yeah.
But he needed it.
Okay.
And he thought that was the best thing to do. So I just went along with it,
Okay.
which is a big mistake, but anyway.
Really?
Yeah, because we only stayed married 18 months and then it was over.
I don't think it's crazy to give your partner an ultimatum if it's something that you really want.
But
But am I crazy in thinking
think, no, I'm not. I think ultimatum is really, really strong.
It
I mean,
is.
I think you should have the discussion and say, look, these are the reasons.
The only thing I would
want
say
to-
is just, again, bringing it back to the fact that this listener might be a woman, I do think it would be very frustrating if you are a woman and you end up, waiting, putting things off, and then all of a sudden you're 40, you don't have a kid, this man has not married you, and all of a sudden he's wasted your youth. He wants to leave.
Well, he hasn't said he wants to leave. She's making.
But a marriage is what stops people leaving in a lot of ways. It's a legal binding document that makes it very difficult for you to leave.
Personally, I don't think it does. That's my personal opinion.
That's only 'cause you got
don't
divorced.
think it stops you leaving if you're married.
It makes it trickier, arguably trickier.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people, they won't just stay in a marriage if they're unhappy. They will leave.
I think you are more likely to be left if someone's having doubts. They are more likely to decide to try work them out if there's a marriage, and they're more likely to just leave if it's just a boyfriend.
You think?
I would think. That's just my perspective, though.
Yeah. Well, I think differently.
We'll disagree to agree.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think give that man an ultimatum.
I think that's really strong, and that could cause him to go if you give him an ultimatum.
True.
So, no.
Chalk and cheese. Okay, moving on. All my friends are talking about going to uni and I'm feeling the pressure from my parents. Okay, so this must be a young listener.
Okay.
I really have no idea what I want to do with my life. The idea of debt scares me. What do I do? Have you ever struggled with debt?
Oh my God, yeah.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Not from uni, but
Did you go to uni?
definitely- No, I went to a music college
Oh, okay.
instead, so I didn't go to university. I guess it was like university in a way because it was a degree in music and singing. But no, I have been in debt, yeah, and that's why I worked 3 jobs at one time and lived in a caravan. So
Did you?
I lived in a caravan.
Was that when you had the kid?
I lived in a caravan at the back of my parents' house in the garden
Okay.
while I rented out my own flat because I couldn't afford to run it.
I actually have a story for you.
Right.
Have you ever heard of tiny homes?
No.
So in Ireland, they're becoming a really big thing. They're these really compact houses. You build them out of timber and like a frame. You can build it in like a week, and then you can put it on like a commune where there's loads of other
Right.
where there's loads of other tiny homes. And normally on these sort of spaces, there's like a group vegetable patch. They've got like shared electricity. They're really cheap to run.
Right.
I went out to a New Year's party on one of these tiny homes.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
And Linda, my hot take is that the place is a cult, okay? Everyone cares about insulation, about vegetable patches. Anyway, but it's not even that. I broke my elbow 12:10, midnight. And I'm in the when I say I'm actually in the middle of nowhere, like I'm on a commune. Okay? I know that it's broken as soon as I hit the ground because the thing's going the wrong way. I call an ambulance and the village people cancel the ambulance on me. Not so peace and love then, were they? They absolutely weren't.
Why did they cancel
Because
it?
they thought it would look bad if an ambulance was showing up to their New Year's party.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I know. And would you believe now, I rescheduled the ambulance because I was like, absolutely not, take me to the hospital, please. I had to get emergency surgery and the doctor told me that if I had left it, which they were all telling me to do, I'd have lost the use of my arm forever.
My God.
Tiny homes, more like tiny brains. No, I take that back, you're smart. Just, I left half my elbow, yeah. It's never, I can't straighten my arm. Look at the video if you want to see.
Wow.
Yeah, so anyway, that's my experience with, what are we talking about? Should this person go to uni or not?
Yes, exactly. That we digressed quite a lot on that one. No, should this person go to uni? I don't think you should go to uni unless you want to. I mean, don't be forced by, it's your life, and don't be
100%.
forced by what's the norm or what the parents want, or
If it's going to be your debt, make it your decision.
Exactly. So I would say no. If you're really not keen on going and getting a debt, then don't do it. Find a different job and maybe work yourself up in that job.
I hate getting on this podcast and agreeing with Linda because there's nothing I look forward to all week than coming here and having a good old argument with her. But I have to agree. If it's going to be your debt, making your responsibility, you sound like you don't know what you want to do at all in life. And I am of the opinion that some of the best lessons I've ever learned were not from uni. Saying that, I am a 30-year-old bar woman. So take from that what you will.
Not by choice.
Actually, speaking of that, one thing about milestones I want to talk about is, now you know I am not in a career that anyone should be envious of. However, I have done a lot of things in my life.
Well, I know.
I've done a lot of travelling.
You have.
And like living in different places. I've met a lot of different interesting characters. And that is something I really pride myself on. I think I've got really good street smarts and really good stories.
Yeah.
But I have some friends in my life who have done the rules, okay? They've got the house, the marriage, the kids, or not all of them have a kid. House, marriage, dog, or kid, or they're set up and they have the career. And whenever I meet up with, and it's not just one friend, it's different groups of friends, I feel like they act like I'm behind. Whereas to me, I view them as slightly behind on other things. You know, they've never gone backpacking. They don't have anything. They just live their life. So I personally sometimes struggle a little bit with that. Of people acting like I'm behind because I haven't done the rules, but me not feeling like I am because I feel like I've lived my life. And
Exactly. But you're you and they're them. So, I mean, this is my philosophy in life. Live and let live. I mean, let people do what they want to do. As long as they're not harming anybody.
I can't believe you just invented the phrase live and let live.
I think that people should do what they want to do and not be judged by, as long as they're not hurting anybody. I just think that people should be able to do what they want to do.
I actually am
in their own time.
I actually am of the opinion that we are fooled into, that we are tricked by society, that we need to go in our 20s and 30s and go build a career. I don't understand. It does not make sense to me why when we're our fittest, our most able-bodied, and where we have no commitments, that should not be the time where we go and travel. We're sold this idea that we should save everything until when we're older, when actually the future's not guaranteed. Also, you're not healthy. Also, you're tired and you're scared and you're nervous. And like that person we heard about being nervous about, they're not going to go and travel the world. I think it's all just a myth to keep the economy rolling that we have to go and do this, when actually for me the most important thing for me to do is spend my 20s and hopefully my 30s is going and just doing things that are going to be core memories for me. And then I genuinely don't understand why it's a big deal if I go and start my career in my 40s.
Well, neither do I.
I think it's just a weird pressure in society.
We agree on that.
Don't go to uni. Stay debt free. Go to Vietnam.
Go and travel.
On the topic, Linda, obviously you're, as we mentioned, a couple of 100 years older than me. Is there any major regrets in your life of things that you didn't do? Like, you've lived a life.
I have. Indeed, I have. No, do you know what? I don't think I have any regrets. I mean, I bought a house in France. I've totally renovated it. I love France. I've had a child. I've been married, divorced.
Which was more fun, the wedding or the divorce party?
Didn't have where we only had 4 people at the wedding.
Girl, we should have a divorce party soon. Me and you.
Years ago. Oh my God. I've had a child. I've travelled the world. I've lived in another country.
Yeah.
I've had a great life.
I
really, really have had a great life.
I hate to be someone that has regrets. However, I do have one or two. I went to uni and then I went back and I studied again. And I wish I didn't do that. I wish I took a little bit of time in between. I think it was COVID and I was fooled into thinking more education makes you a better person, when actually now I have learned that more life experience makes you a better person. I think you can work your way up. There's so many jobs that you actually don't need a degree for that you can work your way into.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly. I thought of one regret. I never learnt to play the piano. That was my one regret in life.
Girl, there's time.
Yeah, that's it. For the rest, I've had a great life. And still am having a great life.
Okay.
I mean, look, I'm here with you.
What's one thing you want to do in your retirement that you're setting a goal for yourself?
One thing I want to do.
Yeah, let's both commit on the pod to doing one thing that takes ourselves out of our comfort zone.
Oh, no. No. No, I
Come
don't think I
on.
can.
You can teach the old dog new tricks.
No, I can't think of anything.
What, you're
I
not
mean,
going to come work
I
a
would
shift
like-
with me at the bar?
No, I would like to. Oh God, I wouldn't mind doing that
Should you?
for one night.
Why don't you come and do that with me?
I would do that.
And I
for a
live
laugh.
one day in retirement
But
with
I
you.
wouldn't want to get home at 2:00 in the morning.
No, just come in for an hour.
Yeah, that'd do.
Pull a few pints.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked in a bar?
No, never.
You know what? For an episode, I am going to. We're not sure if we'll get to do it in the season because we're finished the season soon.
Right.
I am going to get Linda to come to the bar for an hour. She's going to pull pints and she's going to report back on how it was. You've got to give me a challenge.
Oh, yeah, but you. I don't know.
You know what I think we should do together?
What?
Go on a cruise.
Oh,
Now that I've got an old friend.
there you go. Because I've never been on a cruise.
I think it would be a waste of me having a friend in my 70s if I'm not going on a cruise.
Are you trying to say they're for old people?
I'm trying to say take
That's
me to
why
the
I've never
buffet.
been on one.
Pando Cruises, if you're listening. And I think that might be all we have time for today.
Absolutely.
That was fun. I love solving people's problems.
I do too. Whether we actually solve them is another matter, but we're trying.
We're trying our best,
Yes.
and we can't wait to solve more next week.
Yes.
So don't forget to tune back into the Chalk and Cheese podcast. I've been your cheese, Anna Duke,
And I've been your chalk, Linda Rands.
and we've loved solving your problems. Goodbye.
Bye.